Good evening, welcome to Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. My name is Dr. Mensa. Coming up in tonight's news bulletin, President John Dramani Mahama orders payment of 1 billion Ghana cedis to contractors. Also, 3-month-old baby, 5 others died in late night fire. And in business news also, Bank of Ghana signals tougher regulations as industry rebounds. On the international front, all pupils kidnapped from Nigeria Catholic School have been freed. There's a many more stories will come in your way in tonight's news bulletin. CSTV News at 24 is brought to you by Rema Ushering Agency, Celeste Tom Brown, Amstel Block Machinery and Block Manufacturing, NAP Apartment Hotel, and Crystal Jorek Pet Shop. Now the news in details. President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Finance Ministry to release 1 billion Ghana cedis to pay contractors who have been owned by the state since 2017. The president made the announcement at the sword cutting ceremony for the Sunyani Atroni Atrensua Road project in the Bono region, which is being executed under the Big Push Infrastructure Initiative.
A B certificates from 2017 and omuye ejuma. Buy. Almost omuntia omuka. Ebi ewu eja sikano eko. Enti nano ena Contractors Association ba me ho. Ena me catch finance minister say omboabo omo certificates na ano ebi 2 million, ebi 5 million, ebi 10 million, ebi 1 million. Obi mpo there 500,000 cedis. Enti me say omboabo ni na no. Non pe be 1 billion cedis bi non fon twa omu nyina ka. Ansana bronya so ye ka say Auditor General and forensic audit of the National Cathedral. Enti eno na be ma ye humu yie ade e so $97 million ye die tu amra kese ye say ga Africa ha nyina amra bia nso te se sa amra no. Enti sa forensic audit no ene be yi nyoma pie na se yi nyoma pie a eno ne be gina so ne aye investigation no na se asotwe ebi wo ho a e wo se de ma obi a ne de amasa nipa no. Enti nana yembu ye ni ho so yeguso ehwem na emrepa no se asotwe bi wo ho a obi a echese we this Ghana sika se na me share bo no ye de sa nipa no ebe kwa kujina abayinim.
Member of Parliament for Damango, Samuel Abujinapo, has urged the public to desist from elevating political leaders to an almost royal status, describing the practice as unhealthy. He argued that the tendency to treat politicians as exceptionally powerful or superior members of society undermines the principles of accountability and equality that underpins democracy.
I think that is something that the population itself to have to rise up to. If you go to develop democracies in Western world and the rest, if you go for a meeting as a minister and you are having a discussion with your subordinates, they, you know, Mr. Minister, they will be courteous and all of that, but they will not be sycophantic, they will not be pandros. But our society somehow is structured in a way where we almost seem to transfer the reverence we give to our kings and chiefs as it should be to political leaders, which should not be the case, because politicians and ministers and what have you are serving at the behest of the people. So that's the first. Well, but as you know, there's a gulf between being rude or discourteous and being ponderous and sycophantic. You know that. And secondly, the trappings of political office. You get into office and police people are opening your door for you, this is happening, and some people use motorcades, and you just have to be awake. You have to be awake.
Member of Parliament for Kankwe South constituency, Honorable Ernest Adomako, has donated food items to widows and widowers in the constituency. During the donation, the Member of Parliament stated that it is his heart desire to help the widows and widowers in his constituency. He also pledged to fulfill all promises he made to the people. Now, away to the Ministry of Interior, the government through the Interior Ministry has declared December 25th, December 26th, and January 1st, 2006 as public holidays. The announcement was made in a statement posted on the ministry's website and signed by the sector minister, Honorable Muhammad Mubarak Mutaka. In the statement, the minister called on the general public, institutions and organizations across the country to duly observe their holidays as required by law. Now, away to the Ashanti region, there's been a sad story. 6 people, including 3-month-old baby, have been confirmed dead following a devastating fire outbreak at Ebuakwa Menchia in the Chiwaiwan Bieja South municipality. According to the assembly member for Ebuakwa Menchia, Ivan Sopoku, the incident was reported shortly after power was restored to parts of the region following an outrage on Sunday evening. Firefighters from the Nkawie and Chedia fire stations were dispatched to the scene to bring the blaze under control. The police have since identified the bodies and are making arrangements to convey them to the mortuary. Meanwhile, the municipal chief executive for the area, Wisdom Osei Boama, says the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained.
From the last message to the affected family. In fact,
It's a very big tragedy. Since I was born, we never witnessed such incident before. I was called this dawn that there's a fire outbreak at Atrema Manchia. So this morning, I and my team were present here. Unfortunately, we found 6 family members dead in one room out of the fire outbreak. So all I can say is that everybody should be very mindful about the Harmattan season we are getting, so that such incident won't happen again. So my condolences to the management, and we'll sit down and plan what to do for them. So as we are speaking, I'm going to have an emergency meeting with the municipal assembly, then we'll take it from there.
So on this sad note, we're going for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Yamawakwaba, Ediba Answer Company Limited. So we blocks machines here, papa. None bonso assign edda from dia. Any na enwani Answer Company Limited. Your conveyor blocks machines, hydraulic blocks machines, pallets, any blocks machines in one session in and nothing so blocks machines are who draw opening in a being so ewo. To show your chakwan in a year. Ye was Spinters Road 18 Junction. Ye KFC Dino and a dish anymore. Frey, it was 05,240 and I say 0540-725850. Amstel blocks machines in Papa Pa Efie.
Welcome back from the commercial break. It's still live on Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. Now let's move on to business stories. The Bank of Ghana has signaled a tougher regulatory phase for the banking sector, even as it acknowledges a strong recovery in balance sheet, profitability, and market confidence after years of strain. Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama stated.
Someone was asking me the other day, what is the guarantee we will not go back to those days? And I said, take a look at the laws we are changing. I'm sure yesterday you heard about Parliament passing the amendments to the Bank of Ghana Act. Those new legislations, they will guarantee that we no longer go back to another DDEP. We no longer go back to the crisis that confronted us as a country yet again. So looking.
The Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Abdul Rashid Hassan, has paid a working visit to Nutri Foods Ghana Limited, lauding the companies committed to safety, job creation, and local manufacturing. During the visit, the minister expressed satisfaction with the quality of products manufactured by the company.
How the workers are feeling, examine the safety standards of the companies, and how the health of workers are also being considered. In some places, you find workers having injuries whilst they work. The places are not properly kept, and there are challenges. So when you mention that 40 years with 0 incidents or accidents, it's see that people were clapping. It is what we are dealing with every single time. Workplace accidents, challenges at workplace and all that. So we are looking at all that. We are also looking at how we can be instrumental in supporting companies to even grow more, to take advantage of the 24-hour economy, and indeed, we already mentioned you are on it. which is exciting to me. And the importance being also to make sure that the ministry can have interaction with some key leadership of the labor force that are operating and see how they are functioning, how they are committed to doing what they are supposed to do. Also to listen to you to find out whether you face some challenges and how we can be of instrumental, how we can be instrumental in supporting you to clear them. And any other issues you think the ministry can be of support to help. The government has a feeling that unless the private sector wakes up to the challenge of unemployment, we will always have problems with it.
And now let's move on to the foreign front. Nigeria authorities says they have secured the release of the remaining 130 school children and teachers kidnapped from a Catholic boarding school in the country's central Niger state. Nigeria's federal government described the latest release as a moment of triumph and relief after one of the country's worst mass kidnappings. Sports update will be coming your way right after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back now in sports update for tonight's news bulletin. The Confederation of African Football has announced the African Cup of Nations tournament will be held every 4 years after the 2025 edition. CAF president made this announcement after meeting the executive committee in Morocco before the start of the 2025 African Cup of Nations. England's latest defeat on Australian soil was confirmed by an 82-run victory for the hosts in Adelaide on Sunday, meaning the holders wrapped up the series after just 3 of their 5 tests. Nassan Husseini says England's showing against Australia in the Ashes has ultimately proved no difference.
Today and this game has pretty much summed up England's Ashes. They are playing and have been playing catch-up cricket. They've gone hard and gone well in the last couple of days, but this test match was lost at 160 for 8 when England batted first, and since then they've been catching up. And I would say the same about this tour. They came into it underprepared, first test match, and were a little bit surprised at the intensity of Ashes cricket, and since the very first day they've been playing catch-up cricket again. So fair play to Australia. Brendan McCullum said at the end there, out-batted, out-bowled, out-caught. Those catches from Marnus Lavish, yeah, and from balls that were pitched up and found the outside edge. And it sort of summed up Australia's cricket. They were relentless with the ball. They just hit a length. I can't think of that many balls that were easy to cut, or unless they went with the short pitch delivery, that you could pull. I just think they were absolutely brilliant in all departments. There were moments where they lost 6 for 38 and they let England back, but England weren't good enough to pounce on that and weren't good enough to maintain pressure for longer. They were given an opportunity today with Nathan Lyon, you know, on a new ball just looming, and a new ball's good for the seamer, but it's also good for the off spinner, and Lyon is now ruled out of the series with a hamstring. So they were given an opportunity today, England, and they fought hard their tail. But as I say, the damage done earlier in the test match.
Excellent sports news. Ghana forward Anthony Semenyo has reportedly turned down a potential January move to Tottenham Hotspur. preferring to keep his options open for clubs competing at the top end of the Premier League. He has also emerged as one of the division's most sought-after forwards, following a string of impressive performances in recent seasons. Entertainment news will come in your way. Stay tuned. Entertainment news. Lydian Owusu widow of the late Ejisu Member of Parliament John Kuma, has opened up about how she met her new husband, describing the encounter as love at first sight.
Big tragedy. Since I was born, I've never witnessed such incident before.
Cage me. We are seeing a lot on social media. It doesn't bother any of us.
Said American Tianopa Muhu. My name is Hokafo Ewaha. Asida. And I debre Ochedian Ponyan Kopon. We do not take it for granted. Yeah, it's not by might, it's not by power. It's just by grace. And I want my Yuhu, dear Yuhu. And see, Nyankopon wada Roma, I say, enche. And on a SMOTIA says, Bintiasia. Because me are cramming to Bintiasia. Understand how you can't understand. And Nyankopon ada Roma, Eja, Onoa, Uchi Mekwe Moya with me 2 toes by Kuchinim. Emane Jokakra amount. When you are crying, sometimes he brings you something to wipe your tears. And I think over the years, if you have known me, you have known that I believe in forward ever, backwards never. And by the grace of God, I pray to God that for me, I can't go out, I can't stay anywhere. I've made up my mind, and that I'll move forward at all costs. I will not allow pain to cage me. I have a lot to do, and it is something that we are not practicing today that we are practicing. This is the culture of the family. That no matter what comes, we look at the lighter side, the positive side, and we move forward. And by the grace of God, in my prayers and my request, God carried a man to the house of God, to the office. Yes, I didn't know him, and I've never known him anywhere. Amen. I was just here for business purposes. They came for business alliance and love at first sight. As soon as he saw me, he perceived. He perceived. And fortunately, it was just within the time I was ready. Looking for.
And that will be all for tonight's news bulletin. But before we go, let's have a recap of the top stories. President John Dramani Mahama orders payment of 1 billion Ghana cedis to contractors. 3-month-old baby, 5 others died in a late night fire. In business news also, Bank of Ghana signals tougher regulations as industry rebounds. On the foreign front, all pupils kidnapped from Nigeria Catholic school has been freed. And this is where we draw curtains for tonight's news bulletin. Cstv News at 24 was brought to you by Celeste Victor Brown, Rema Ocean Agency, Amstel Block Machinery and Block Manufacturing, Sarah's Dream Jewelries, and Nap Apartment Hotel. For more news updates, you can follow us on our social media handles. My name is Dr. Mensa. Good evening once again.